So I'm sitting here with my cup of coffee and my notes, and um, this is the first in the series of basic Windows skills that every computer user should know. And so we're just going to take this step by step, um, one thing at a time. And I will put on my handy little reader glasses so that I can see my notes. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is is copy and paste. And there's I tell you something about Windows, and this is especially for you new guys or people that's not all that computer literate, but there's it seems like a half a dozen different ways of doing something in Windows, which is good. More than one way of doing it. More than one way to skin a cat, fish. so. Um, so let's just start out with the copy and paste, and there's a shortcut to it. And the shortcut, if you look at your keyboard, and first of all, you should be real familiar with your keyboard. It has a control key, it has a shift key, it has a control key on both sides of the space bar actually. It has an alternate key, ALT, on both sides of the space bar. And I guess that's for people that are right-handed and left-handed to make it more convenient. But be familiar with your keyboard. Take some time and just look at it and make sure you know what each one of those keys are. And maybe I'll do a separate video just on the keyboard. But the shift key is going to make you shift so that you can do capital letters. Ctrl is the control key, ALT is the alternate key, and I'll get in more in a different video about what each one of those keys does. But I want to talk about shortcuts, and these are keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to get rid of my video of me, and I'm going to show you how to do this stuff while I'm still talking. So um, here we're looking at the screen here, and if I were to just put in some text, for example, this is a test, and if I were to highlight this, and the way I'm highlighting it is I push the left mouse button, hold it down, and I just drag it across it, let it go, and that highlights it. Well, while it's highlighted, if I copy the text, which is Ctrl+C or Ctrl+Copy, I can then put that anywhere I want to. I can make some space and say Ctrl+V. Think of V as like Velcro. Velcro is something that sticks. So Ctrl+V or Ctrl+Velcro will put it wherever your cursor is. If I move the cursor up here to that blank space, Ctrl+V, it will put it there. But not only in this window, but if I go to a completely different application, say something Microsoft Word, and I do the same thing there, Ctrl+V, it also pastes it there every time I hit it. I hit the enter key, move to a different line, Ctrl+V, it will paste it there as well. Velcro. Ctrl+V is the paste. Think of V as Velcro. Like I said, it will work anywhere within Windows. If I go to a web browser, for example, and I hit Ctrl+V, it will put it there because I copied it. I could have copied it from anywhere. If I highlight this and say Ctrl+C to copy it, I can put it wherever I want to. If I go down to the search bar down here and hit Ctrl+V, it will put it there as well. So this is probably the most time-saving um, shortcut that you can do. I see people all the time, they will say they want to uh, have something down here that they had up there. So they're sitting here typing it. This is a pass. Why do all that stuff when you just copy it with Ctrl+C and then paste it wherever you want to paste it? Ctrl+V, Control Velcro. This is a great command to memorize. Now, you may ask me, and I will turn my video back on. You may ask, how in the world you expect me to know all of this stuff? I mean, I'm a computer novice. The best thing you can do is make a list of all of these shortcuts. But you can also look, if I hit Control, if I hit the edit button there, right there, the shortcut's right there. You're not seeing that because it's covered up by my video. Let me just move this over here. And so if I hit the edit button and look down here where it says paste, right there it is, Control+V. Copy, Control+C. Well, that's in this little notebook thing you say. So what about other applications? Well, if I go into Microsoft Word, for example, and I go to File, well, actually, that's not what I want. Insert. If you click on the options here, it will also give you that shortcut. Paste is here, for example, but you can see it says Control+V. CTRL is short for control. So same thing with other options. It doesn't matter what application you're in. It shows you these shortcuts. So you can make a list of them, but for everything in this video, what I'm going to do for people that comment, if you comment on these blog posts that I make, so that we get some dialogue going back and forth. I know what I think you want to know how to do, but only you can tell me what you're really interested in. If you have something you would like to know how to do, and it's not in my video, then please comment and let me know. If you think a particular blog post or video was helpful, let me know by commenting. The other thing I would ask you to do is, if you find this stuff helpful, share it with people. Tell your friends. Maybe they don't feel all that comfortable with computers either, and you will be helping them by telling them to go to Extra Help, www.extrahelp.us, and look at this video. It's going to help them. So with that said, that is how you copy and paste. Now, with that said, let's move on to the second thing in my list of notes that I have here. The second thing I'd like to show you is how to cut and paste. Now, I have to admit, I use copy and paste a lot more than I do cut and paste. But cut and paste comes in handy too, especially if you're like moving pictures or files around your computer. That comes in very handy on how to do that. So let's talk about cut and paste. So if I were to highlight this section of text here that I was using to demonstrate with, and by the way, you can click on the side and then drag it across and that will highlight it. You can double click one time and it will highlight just one word, or you can, I think, click 3 times, and it will highlight everything. Um, and that's clicking with your left mouse button. So how do I cut and paste? Cutting is very similar to copy, but cut has this X. So if I push the Control key and X, it will remove that. And I can now go to some other place, say I'm down here some other place, and I hit paste. Paste is the same thing. It is Control V, which is Velcro, to make it stick. So that's paste, Control V. Same thing as copy and paste. This is cut and paste. Cut, again, you just highlight whatever it is that you want to cut and hit Control X. So everyone makes mistakes from time to time, myself included. I've been in this business for like 30 years in the computer business, maybe longer, if I think about it hard enough. So, um, so if you make a mistake, you're typing something and you accidentally uh, cut it or you delete it, or you were typing over a bunch of text and you mess up what you're typing. So how do you get that back? Well, there is a shortcut um, called undo and redo, and you can search for it up here. Like, for example, these circles, the same thing. It does undo and redo, but so I could hit the circle here, but I can use the shortcut key, which, by the way, if I hover over it, it will say undo cut, or repeat cut. But the shortcut key is the Control Z for undo and Control Y for redo. So if I use the shortcut key and hit Control Z, it will put that back where it was, whatever I made, whatever the mistake was. I could be typing a whole paragraph and not looking at my screen, and then realize I've messed the whole thing up. Do I really want to retype everything? Number one, can I even remember what it said? It's just a lot of unnecessary work. So I can simply hit Control Z, and it will put back whatever it was. Say, for example, I got a whole bunch of stuff on here, and I inadvertently highlighted some things. I'm not looking at my screen. I highlighted some things and hit the space bar, and I lost that whole center section of what I was typing. Well, all I got to do is hit Control Z, and it'll put it right back to what it was before. That's a huge time saving. So it's an important shortcut to use. And again, like I said, and I know I'm repeating myself, but all of these shortcut keys are lifesavers. And if you comment on my blog, tell me what you want, I'll send you a list of, and of course you have to give me your email address in order for me to give you the list. I mean, I can't send it to you without your email address. But if you comment and you leave your email address with me, don't put it in the comment section, but go to the little form that has, and it's throughout my blog, but go to the little form that you can put in your email address and that'll send it to me. Now, I want to tell you, you don't have anything to worry about as far as me giving anybody else your email address. There's simply no reason for me to do that. I don't sell anything. I'm not trying to get you to subscribe to anything. I don't. I don't put ads on this because I'm trying to make money. I'm just doing this because I want to help people. So, you know, don't be afraid to give me your email address. I just need a way to communicate with you. That's the only reason. And I promise not to spam you. I'll send out an email when I post something that's important that I think you would like to know about. And I don't intend to send you emails every single day, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'll send an email with a list of updates that I've made, things that I think you might be interested, or if you post a message in the blog and say that you would really like me to show you how to do something, and I create a blog post, I will then send you an email saying, hey, you know, thanks for your comment. I actually did send you, I actually did create a blog post, and here is where it's located. So, with that said, we will move on to the next topic, and that is select all. So, select all is a handy way to highlight everything. So, if I decide I don't want this whole section of text, I can highlight it with my mouse, or I can just put my cursor where I want to select everything and hit Ctrl+A, Ctrl+A for all. So Ctrl+A and it will select it. Now I can Ctrl+C and copy that if I want to. Ctrl+C, I copy it. I know you can't see, but I hit Ctrl+C. Now, if I hit the backspace key, it makes that go away. Why did it go away? It went away because I had it all highlighted. So, if you have something highlighted, I'm going to hit Ctrl+Z to put it back. So, if you have everything highlighted and you hit the delete key, it's going to delete everything that's highlighted. Same thing if you hit the space key, if you hit the backspace key, you know, if you hit a letter, if you start typing while it's highlighted. And this is one of those mistakes that people make all the time, myself included, where you're typing along and suddenly you inadvertently, unintentionally highlighted everything, and then you start you're typing. Well, it will, when you do that, it will replace that whole thing that was highlighted with whatever you were typing. So now I realized I made a mistake when I did that. So I just hit Ctrl+Z and I put it right back. No need to retype everything all over again. Just Ctrl+Z. You know, and these shortcut keys will help you. Believe me, they will help you immensely. So you need that special PDF file that I'm going to create that has all of the shortcut keys that you can print out and put next to your computer so that you don't have to worry about memorizing everything. You just glance up next to your computer and you've got all those shortcut keys to go by. But I will tell you that over time, you will start to memorize this. The first day I used a computer, I had no idea what Ctrl+C was, or Ctrl+A, or any of the other shortcut keys. But after you use them for a while, they become like second nature, easy to remember. So the Ctrl+A key is that highlight everything. Well, and so I'm going to copy everything, and I'm going to go down and put in another paragraph here. So Ctrl+A, is it going to highlight the whole document? Yes, absolutely. It will highlight everything. Ctrl+A for all. So everything in that document is going to highlight. So, but it is, Ctrl+A is a very important shortcut key to have. Now, what if I only want to highlight and get rid of this one? I don't want everything. Well, again, I can 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, my left mouse button 3 times. And it's a little bit tricky to do that. I mean, for me, it's easier if I just go to the end of the text or to the beginning of the text, press my left mouse button, and just highlight whatever it is that I want to get rid of. And then I can hit Ctrl+X and it's gone, or I can hit backspace or whatever key I decide to hit to get rid of that. So at any rate, that is Ctrl+A. So let's talk um, about saving your file. So if you're in here and you want to save this file, how do you save it? Well, I can go up here and I can hit this little disc that says save. It shows me the shortcut key is Ctrl+S. I could go to file and say save here or save as. You know, there's a number of ways I could do it. Or if shortcut keys are all about speed without having to take your eyes off of what you're doing, without having to move your hand over to your mouse and move the mouse around. All you got to do is hit Ctrl+S and it will pop up that save this file. And it will be whatever was highlighted. So if you have a title and you highlighted it and hit Ctrl+S, that's what it's going to put in there. And then the location where you want to save it, and you click save. Now, in a later video, I'll talk about navigating and file management, where to save your files, things like that. But one of the biggest things that beginner computer users, or maybe you've been using a computer for years, but you just don't feel that comfortable with them. You don't feel like you really know how to use one proficiently. But one of their biggest issues is they save a document, they save something, and then later they can't find the thing. And it's very frustrating, especially for people that didn't grow up with computers. And they feel like, well, I spent 2 hours working on this thing, and now I don't know where the darn thing is. I'm going to have to go back and redo it all over again. No, you don't. There's ways that you can find the document. It's not lost, it's not gone, you just don't know where it is. So there's ways of finding it, and I discuss that in my videos. So I urge you, you know, if you're watching this video, come back often. Bookmark my website, www.extrahelp.us. Bookmark it and come back, because I'm always adding new content. So, and this is designed to help you. It doesn't cost you anything, so take advantage of it. You know, tell your friends about it. You know, tell your enemies about it too, I guess. So, so anyway, when you're saving a file here, you want to make sure where you choose a location, save it in a place that you are more likely to remember. But if you don't remember, there's ways of finding it. So that is saving a document. Ctrl+S, S for save. So now let's talk about well, how do you print a document? Well, if you've been listening to these shortcut keys, most of them make perfect sense. So, how do you print a document? You're probably already thinking, okay, what about Ctrl+P? Well, that sounds logical to me. So if I hit File and I go down here and print, I can do it like that to print it. Or I can just hit Ctrl+P and it will pop this up. I choose the printer that I want. I want one-sided, I want portrait, which is a long ways up and down, or I could change that to landscape, which is a page sideways. How many copies I want, whether I want the whole thing, or I want just the page I'm on. You can custom print it and tell it what pages you want. But anyway, once you select what you want here, then you just hit P to actually print it. Control P to print. Now, if I brought that up by mistake and I want to get rid of this, I just hit the back arrow there and it goes away. So that's Control P. What if I want to find a particular word? Say in the middle of this down here, I've got the word special. And, this is, highlight it and say Ctrl+C. And I'm going to put in a bunch of places there. And I'm looking for the word special. It's buried in all of this crap here. So if I hit Ctrl+F to find, Ctrl+F to find, and I type the word special because that's what I'm looking for, it highlights it every time it found it in the document. Very handy. I mean, you could go blind. Maybe not literally, but you could go blind looking for the word special. And or Control redo. So you could almost go blind trying to find it if you got this buried in pages and pages, and you don't know where that one special word that you're trying to find. Just go at the top of your document, hit Control+F for find, and then type in the word that you're looking for, and it will highlight it. Very, very handy when you're in a hurry, instead of eyeballing it and trying to find, the word, in pages and pages, just Control+F and try to find it. So, what about your mouse? I have a mouse here, and I noticed the mouse has this little wheel here. It also has a left button and a right button. The left button is what you use most of the time to select. If I double click, it's going to select this with the left button. If I hold down the Control key while moving this mouse wheel, say you got vision problems and you can't quite make out, I hold down the Control key and I move the mouse wheel and it's going to make it bigger so I can see it. That's zooming in. If I continue to hold the Control key and turn the mouse wheel toward me, it's going to make it smaller. So that's very handy, especially if you've got vision problems. So, I mean, I wear these readers, but if it's normal text, and that normal text is a smaller, I can kind of read it, but it looks a little blurry. So I could put it on my glasses, or I could hit the Control key and push that mouse wheel away. Now I can actually read it without my glasses. I don't need my glasses to read it. Maybe I misplaced my glasses. Maybe they broke and I haven't gotten a new pair from the store yet. These are not prescription glasses. They're just readers. Seemed like the day I turned 40 is the day that I couldn't read anything in front of me. So that's using the Control key and mouse key. What if um, you want to say you've got all of this um, zoomed in and you want to put it back to normal? Well, I can look down here in the corner and I can see real small here on your screen that's 250%. Well, I can use a little slider there and change it, or I can just hit Control O for original, Control O for original. Whoops, that Control O is to open it. So there's not Control O. I'll have to look that up. I thought it was Control O for original, but Control O opens another document. So I could just grab this little slider down here and put it back to 100% like that. So what if I want to take a screenshot of something? Well, what's a screenshot? It's a picture. Say, for example, you made a hotel reservation or an airline reservation, and you want a picture of whatever's on your screen. So how do you do that? So you can use a different key. Use the Windows Shift S screen. The S is for screen. So Windows Shift. Now I'm introducing a couple of new keys here. The Windows key is the key on your keyboard that looks like a window. It's got like 4 little panes there that's colored in on each side. So if I hit the Windows key and I hold it down, and I hit the Shift key with my other finger, and I hit the S key, it will take a screenshot. And so it will give me this arrow here, which I can then just highlight, hold it down, and highlight it with my left mouse button, and then let it go. And now I've got a picture. And if I say put it on my other screen, and I was trying to move it around, but I can't do that. But you can then save that to wherever you want to, and now you have a picture of your hotel reservations or your airline reservations or whatever it was that you wanted to capture a picture of. So again, I know I'm being repetitious. These shortcut keys, I know they can be confusing. So you need that list that I will give you if you comment and you let me know what you're looking for, and if you give me your email address so I know where to send it to. I will send you a PDF, which is a file that has all of these shortcut keys in it. I will also send you a bunch of other stuff too. If you want it, if you don't want it, just let me know and I won't send it to you. But that is how to take screenshots. So, and it's called Snipping Tool. And there's another way of doing this too. If I were to go down here to the search area and click in there and type the word snip, S-N-I-P, that brings up the snipping tool here, and I can open that. That does the same exact thing, but the Windows Shift S key is a fast way to do it without having to search for it. But like I said, there are multiple ways of doing anything. That snip tool, again, this is the 10th thing, the 10th basic skills that every computer user should know. So I will repeat this one more time, so because it's using different keys. The Windows key is the key that is normally 4 white squares between the control key and the alternate key. You may have a FN, which is a function key, and it's right next to that as well. So you hold down the Windows key, with one finger, press the shift key with the other finger, and then take your right finger and press S for shift. And it will then and you can control it too, whether you want to take picture or or do the whole screen or whatever, but it will give you these crosshairs and you just highlight whatever it is that you want with the left mouse button and then let go of the left mouse button and then it will uh, give you a copy, a picture of what, and now you need to save that picture, but in the newer versions of Windows, it'll even automatically save it for you. And I'll show you how to find that as well in a later video. So there you go, folks. You have the 10 basic Windows skills that every computer user should know. And these shortcuts will save you an immense amount of time. So thank you for watching the video. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And please sign up. I want to help you, but I can't help you if I don't know what it is that you need help with. So thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to making more of these, more ways to help you.